Back, ladies and gentlemen, to the $200 minimum 4v4 variant taking place here on March 15th. It's myself live in studio here. Lando Sanders, of course, bringing you guys the action. Didn't cause a lot of inflection there, my voice. Kind of actually hurt. We're good to go, though. We got VexX going up against the team known as Free Agent Life. Not exactly sure the full details as far as kind of went on a little bit of a tweet hunt. Trying to figure out exactly what was going on with this roster. By the way, that's a pretty interesting camo there from Brack. I guess like a highlighter camo. Not exactly sure, but he's not rocking on the STG, so, you know, whatever. Anyway, moving forward. Really distracted me. Free Agent Life. We've got Mochila, TTinyy, Reedr, and Drama. From knowledge, I guess, it seemed as if that it was going to be Mochila and Nagafin who are teaming under Most Wanted for the national circuit. And then it seemed as if that they were teaming up with both Remy and Reedr. And then Mochila tweeted that he was a free agent for Birmingham, so I'm not sure if it's just Most Wanted. So I'm not sure the exact details, but at least Mochila and Reedr should be teammates for the national circuit. That's what I'm taking away from this. TTinyy is a free agent, of course, off of Mochila Esports, and very curious to see his play. A lot of people got to witness him at the Canadian Cineplex tournament. Played very strong for his roster despite not making it super far, as it looks like 3 nearly lined up there for Drama. But this is going to be a pretty interesting matchup that we get to witness, because you kind of have a group of guys who technically haven't really played with each other besides and kind of excluding Mochila and Reedr. But you've also got, like I said, you got Drama, you got TTinyy, 2 guys who are very, very solid in their own categories. TTinyy kind of a newer player amongst the community. And as far as I know there's a little bit of kind of past, no pun intended, drama with like Drama and Mochila from like past whatever. There's like rumors that Drama like wasn't playing seriously at certain tournaments whenever he was playing with Mochila and Swarley. So I know they've got a little bit of a, you know, a personal rivalry back and forth, so it's kind of interesting to see that they are playing on the same team. But I bring that up because they're facing off against a unit who is a very solid roster. In VexX, you got Brack, Rampy, Vicious. These 3, of course, normally playing alongside of Lyric, but it seems that might have added potentially Hitmxn to their roster. I know Hitmxn recently announced not too long ago that he is a free agent off of Rain, which he has been with that team since the beginning of Call of Duty World War II. Of course, his prior roster being Jet Li, Neon, and Lisp Zeus, kind of constantly had an issue with having someone to kind of carry the slang load alongside of him. He very, very solid player. Personally, whenever I saw that this group was playing with one another, I was like, okay, this is going to be awesome. Cannot wait to watch this VexX team play tonight, because if he is technically at least rumored to be their 4th, or at least is kind of warming up, practicing to see if he can be their 4th or not, he would be a fantastic addition to this team as far as consistent slang numbers, because that's exactly what he can kind of put up. Either rocks the sub or can kind of be a flex player from time to time. It really kind of rules the battlefield with that SMG. So it should be a pretty interesting match. I think Hardpoint is going to play huge as far as who can kind of catch the momentum, whether or not just pure gun skill and overall play can dominate the factor of chemistry and teamwork. A lot on the line as Mochila nearly turns on to 2. Definitely the most experienced player in this entire lobby. Mochila played for a number of different organizations in the past, you know, whether it's kind of most notably like Curse back in the day or even Optic Nation from time to time. He's been around the Call of Duty space for a long time and has always rocked that assault rifle. I feel like he's always playing League of Legends, too. I'm not sure. He's a very talented League of Legends player, at least from what I've seen. So, very talented in multiple esports. Also, I think has like an insanely fast reaction time. Like, plays a lot of these like Dance Dance Revolution games. I'm probably getting that wrong, the exact name, but something along those lines, and he just has a very fast reaction. So, Mochila, multiply talented esports player of games that aren't just FPSs, even MOBAs, whatever you really want to call it. So, with that, we've currently got a pretty decently sized lead after nearly the first rotation. We've got 1 more hard point left, which of course is now going to be on toward Doc's Crane, but 117 to 54. Hitmxn finding a few off of that fresh respawn, coming on the flank, and it looks like has a few opportunities as he joins up with his teammates to take out the final player inside of the hill, which was yet again Mr. Mochila, trying to get back in the game, trying to backpack his teammates. He's trying to get back into the hardpoint as well, as 35 valuable seconds left. And right now, if you're Free Agent Life, do not want to let this one get out of hand. Facing off against a team who is, you know, kind of more solidified when it comes into strategies. Of course, you get 3/4 of a team who's been playing with each other for a few months now. It's not going to be fun to face off against them when it comes into search and destroy. But if we know anything about this man, TTinyy, he can light it up from time to time. This is why I think it's just a fun and overall interesting matchup between these two teams. Granted, it's not really showing the scoreboard as it currently stands, but it's just a matter of you got some really talented guys who just currently aren't on that roster, that solidified team, versus a group of guys who are, maybe to the regular competitive Call of Duty competitive community, fairly unknown. So I think it's just such a interesting and fun match to watch. But as it stands, Hardpoint definitely beginning to start to get out of hand, or has been for a while now, as it's about to be a 100-second advantage toward the boys on Vex. And for those who've heard of this Vex lineup, even going back to a few of our past tournaments, they've been kind of dominating our $300 minimums, whether it's been variants, as of recent, or even search and destroys in the past. These guys are very, very solid as an overall unit. Vicious, Brack, Rampy, all these guys can go off from time to time. Rampy, I've seen him have some phenomenal performances alongside of Vicious in the search and destroys. I've seen Brack go off in constant respawns, whether Hardpoint and or CTF alike. This guy can absolutely light up the kill feed when he's on his game. Currently level at 13 and 13, has got just under a minute in the hill, but also has those 2 streaks in his back pocket. The fighter pilot and the glide bomb could be good to call on when it comes down to Main Street. This is a pretty open-sided hill, and it looks like he's actually going to rely on his teammate Vicious, who's also got streaks. Let's actually take a look and see who actually has all of those. It looks like it's just going to be Brack for now. Here comes the glide bomb, though. And this is one thing that kind of it's got to be annoying for some teams. If you have a slow start to a match, which clearly the boys from Free Agent Life are experiencing, even if you play perfect toward rotations, streaks can ruin perfection. They can ruin better play, and overall they kind of act as a get-out-of-jail-free card. If you don't make the a certain rotation toward a hard point, or if you're really kind of fighting for the last maybe scrap points of the prior hill, streaks can absolutely be your best friend. They can easily bring you back into a match, or even delay the enemy from getting any time inside of the hill, which is exactly what we see there on Main Street. Great streak usage coming in from the boys on Vex, as they're doing everything right, essentially, is kind of what you kind of point toward for now. As Brack, Vicious lighting it up, 3 go down quick, and now Reedr, first person off the respawn, has to wait for his teammates. He's got no real solidified push to make. He's got no kind of map control to try to push his way toward the hard point. And for right now, they're just having a difficult time getting past that 50-yard line. Essentially is what it is. They're having a hard time just getting toward the hill. But it looks like Drama has found a little bit of a gap inside of the setup, has made it behind enemy lines in some cases, and now has got some control inside of Doc's warehouse. But the question being, for how much longer? TTinyy, Reedr combining for a few. Brack is at least able to toss a little bit of presence inside of the hill, as he does drop 2. And Curly could be on another streak if he finds the 3rd, gets some shots tagged in toward Drama. The trade will come in, and TTinyy, in the end, though, will be there for the pickup. Vicious does get dropped as well, so it looks like a little bit of some freedom gained here for Free Agent Life, which probably something that they're experiencing right now. Probably a feeling that they'd rather not be feeling is freedom, because they want to have that organization underneath them. Why? Because they're Free Agent Life. Drama making his way inside of barrels, as it looks like as time starts to pass. I mean, this is just looking very, very grim if you are a fan of the boys from Free Agent Life, a.k.a. FAL is what we're kind of calling them, funny enough, the initials, F-A-L. I thought it was great. Producer was bringing it up. I thought it was really funny. This is what is difficult for me, because I want to, say jokes, but no matter what, if I even think they're funny, there's no one here to laugh with me. There's no one here that is there to I don't know, banter alongside myself. I feel like I just kind of have to talk to myself. I feel like I'm talking to a wall or a mirror, but I know that at least a few of you are there listening and hopefully enjoying the commentary. But it looks like Reedr. Look at the gun, though. He's got a little bit of a, what is that, an acorn? Or it's actually like a pot of gold on the side of his weapon. I like that. That's pretty cool. I enjoy that a lot. 100-second advantage. Starting to dissipate, but not by much whatsoever. Vex, it's their time to close it out here, and now Doc's Crane is the hard point to do it on, and Brack is ready for this match to be over. He's ready for some search and destroy, of course, on some Arden Forest. There's 10 more seconds needed, rushing his way toward the hill, infantry being rocked. And it looks like this one should be good to go. TTinyy has fallen. One more player left. He's going for the stab. Not going to be there. Reedr able to stay up for now. As Free Agent Life not out of this one just yet. However, only 6 more seconds needed for Vex to call this one a GG's. TTinyy still playing his little heart out, as he does. Actually is currently 2 kills positive. Nearly makes it 3. Only player for the squad who's even close to double positive, or excuse me, even close to positive at that. But as the time starts to tick down the tide of Doc's Crane, it's back toward middle. Vicious and Co. are here. No one is there to challenge. It looks like TTinyy, last player going to be there for an opportunity. Drama might be able to dolphin dive his way inside of the hill and just narrowly hops in, but only for the moment, as this game does get closed out in a pretty dominant way, 250 to 159. Vex, alongside a strong performance coming in from this man, Brack, are able to lock this one down. And much like the other side of the bracket, which I believe is Midnight, currently facing off against Teammates, we've been seeing pretty dominant hardpoints up into this match so far. I think it's kind of lining in, whether or not, however, obviously Search and Destroy does go. Midnight could be facing off against Vex in the finals. That's kind of been my prediction heading into tonight's tournament. Vex, I was curious to see how they would do versus a very solid kind of, you know, on paper team. You've got guys like TTinyy, Drama, Reedr, Mochila. On paper, very solid players in their own regard. However, when you perform as a team, it's a lot different. Hardpoint, especially in London Docks, very, very chaotic, and it really does kind of rely on chemistry and communication, which is exactly what the guys on Vex have got to have at this point in the game. Take a look here at our box score for our map #1 hardpoint, like I said, on London Docks. Looks like a statue did go the way of Vex in a pretty dominant way. Main Street, though, was ruled by the boys on Foul, a.k.a. Free Agent Life. Warehouse and Barrels play a different tune along with Crane. So really the only hard point that was a victory for the guys on Free Agent Life was that one on Main Street, and it wasn't by too much. As far as the ones that kind of perform as outliers have got to be Statue, Warehouse, and even Crane to an extent. Just goes to show when it comes down to overall control. It was the guys from Free Agent Life who were there on the rotations, but it was a matter of Vex who just overall had that slang kind of favor in their way, just kind of overall having the trades. And I think just the overall gun skill that you look at this team, right? Talk about Hitman. You add a guy like this. I think the one thing that Vex was really kind of waiting for was that solid Slayer alongside Vicious, alongside Brack and the respawns who can really kind of complete this team. It's a matter of you see a lot of teams who kind of struggle with just having 2 solid players and not really having the full lineup go off. When you add a guy like Hitman, I mean, I think he adds a solid slaying base to this team, an SMG presence that you really aren't going to find with a whole lot of top semi-pros like himself. So I think a pickup like this, if it does come into play, if it's already happened, I think it's smart for the guys on Vex Gaming. I really do. He ends up finishing off this hard point 36 and 25, minute and 2 seconds inside of the hill, and also has 5,285 score. I like to bring up the score just because it goes to show like what overall they're doing. It's not just the kills that were in. It's not just the objective time. It was overall. He was kind of getting all the assists and doing whatever he could. Defends as well. So with that though, guys, Vex do take map #1. Like we said, another hard point dominance from whether it's been Midnight or Vex so far. They have been having pretty easy ways when it comes down to the respawns. Welcome back, ladies and gents, to the $200 minimum 4v4 variant taking place here on March 15th, 2018. How y'all doing? Hope you guys are doing good. Loading here for the semifinals. I apologize. It's starting to get a little bit late here in the Central Time, but still, we've got Free Agent Life going up against Vex. Can we see our first CTF forced of the night? Or are we seeing back-to-back-to-back 2-0s? Give me a CTF. I want it. I want to cast Flat Tower CTF with all my heart and all my soul. Looking on, looks like bomb does get planted. Coming in from Rampy alongside a kill. Hitman watching through mid-U. Does get greeted with a few shots coming in from Mochila. Can the 2v3 now making a 1v3 retake happen? Drama. Good luck. Rampy seeking who he may devour. He's already found 3. Does he find the ace? I don't believe he does. I'll cheat. No, he did not. Did not find the ace. Looks like Vicious holding this B-Dom area, or B-Dom top control. We'll be able to find it. It's only 1 player dropping in that round, despite a near retake. I say near. It was an opportunity that really kind of was blown in some cases. Had an opportunity to make it happen, but it does not go the way. Regardless, round 1 going the way of Vex. Early on, streak potential already earned from Rampy. I was kind of talking about it in the hard point. You kind of throughout my discussion throughout the first rotation saying, you got guys that you really prefer in different game modes. Rampy by far is the guy to be looking at when it comes into search and destroy. Has a sniper bullet whistle passes here though from TTinyy on the opposite end. Finds Mochila and now is about a, what, fraction away of a kill from earning that first streak in just a round and a half. 2 more players left. Drama. Goodbye. TTinyy, last one up. 1v4 does catch the vision onto one. Goodbye, Vicious. 3 more left. Can he pull it off? Spots one onto Brack. Despite only finding, I say only, despite finding half of the opposition. Very well done from TTinyy, might I add. I mean, that is just overall a very unfortunate situation because in some cases TTinyy does find 2 kills. He finds half the lobby, but he didn't find the one player that he absolutely had to, which of course is Rampy. So after just 2 rounds of play, Rampy, welcome to your first set of streaks. The Air Force off the beginning will be in favor of X as they've got both a fighter pilot and a glide bomb to work with. And now an offense, right, for future rounds. You've got this already stored up. I mean, if you're just winning rounds consistently off of just straight gunfights, they're looking pretty good. And just like that, there goes 2 off the start. You see that mid-U push actually being made. Vicious isn't able to get instead of fire. Brack will escape. So despite having the bomb dropped, it still will be in favor of the guys from Vex. Brack quickly going to wrap back to grab that bomb, but not if Drama can spot him. He sees that little highlighter weapon. He sees it going through fire. And Rampy will be able to successfully pick up that bomb, but to no avail. Teammates are falling left and right. Can he continue on this flawless streak? Players just behind him, and he actually hears that, I believe. Don't tell me he's actually going to escape out of this. I could have swore that player number 5, Drama, just spawned him, but apparently he didn't. Reedr, nice drop shot coming in from this man, and I'm glad that we see actually Reedr come through with this kill to try to get a little bit more momentum, potentially under the boys from Free Agent Life. When we talk about anyone from Free Agent Life, especially in Search and Destroy, it's going to be Reedr and it's going to be TTinyy. We see TTinyy, despite being in a 1v4, pick off 2 snipes in that last round, or in the 2 rounds prior. In the last round, we see a little bit of good stuff coming in from Reedr as well, currently sitting at 2-2. But you need to see the solid performance coming in from the unit, the overall team as a whole. It looks like now on offense, we'll see what they can try to do. It looks like stuns tossed out toward that backside tank area. I believe that is going to be Vicious, who needs to back up, but it's Hitman, who despite that, though, finds the first blood. Rush coming in toward that backside bridge. Drama's there to win it. And despite with losing teammates, they're still going for the rush, but where are the teammates at? Reedr's in the back lines. Drama was already pushed up inside of cabin. There's not a whole lot of, like, like in no way throughout that round, there's no situation where it's guys from Free Agent Life who are there to immediately trade. Like, one guy rushed up through, I think it was, like I said, Drama, who rushes his way up inside a cabin. It's Reedr who's sitting inside a fire, and I think he was watching over someone who rushed inside of mid-U. But like, there's not a whole lot of situations where there's like an immediate trade. That's why we see a 1v2 currently underway. Glide bomb. Reedr knew it was happening. Rather unfortunate. Another crater on Iron Forest gets formed. Not permanently, though. And this is just going to be so defeating if you're Reedr. It's like, okay, 1v2. I got a strategy. Okay, let's see what they're going to try to do. And it's like, glide bomb inbound. All right, well, I tried. It was all I could do. And maybe he could have had an opportunity to rush inside a bunker. It's called bunker for a reason. You escape score streaks? Not exactly sure. But still, for now, Rampy and co from the set of X are looking good. And it looks like Rampy, though, pulling out the cheeky sniper. He's got it out. Also rocking energetic to sprint as fast as he can over to watch inside of A and Mochila's head. Watch out for it. There it goes. There goes his arm, his chest. Not exactly sure where that bullet hit. It would actually be kind of cool if you could track that. Maybe a shoulder sprain of some sort comes from that. Not exactly sure. Regardless, though, 4v2. Hitman shooting at the icicles, as that's really all that's left. His teammates are picking up everything else. Reedr, 1v4, much like his teammate a few rounds prior. TTinyy was at least able to find 2. We'll see how many Reedr can find. With the bomb being down, it only puts another issue in his way, another problem in his way. Vex is ready for it. Rampy does find First blood and the last one as well. Taking down Mochila and also dropping Reedr. Pretty solid round coming in from this. I mean, a pretty solid game as well, right? I mean, the guy's 9-1, had earned streaks by the end of round 2, and so like solely solidified round number 4, I believe, by just calling the glide bomb. I was like, why not? Like, we're not gonna even have a chance for Reedr to clutch out a 1v2. We're just gonna call him the glide bomb and just take him out solely. And with that being said, he still has a fighter pilot and is also on a streak of 2. Pretty solid, gotta say. Rampy. Aggressive rush. He's feeling confident, and who wouldn't? A nade gets bounced off his helmet. TTinyy, though, is there for the snipe. Along with that, Mochila does drop 1, and right now, if you're the guys from Vex, maybe a little bit too confident in this round. We'll see how the 2v4 clutch, I believe, comes into play. There goes 2. Mochila is able to turn on the 1. Vicious 1v2 situation. This would be absolutely heartbreaking if you're free agent life in this spot. Have a 4v2 in your advantage. And I like that play from Vicious. Actually spots out both of them. He does spawn out both player models. Can't find the shot onto Mochila. Goes for the re-challenge. While in the meantime, though, you see TTinyy going for the bomb plant. Kind of an overall risky situation as far as like how things are going, because if Mochila loses this fight, Vicious escapes and now has 40 seconds to try to figure out this 1v1. So, wasn't an immediate re-challenge coming in from TTinyy, but in the overall scheme of things, it kind of works out. Plus, he has that score toward getting the bomb plant regardless of that. So, with that, we'll see where TTinyy is at. So, I mean, he's far off, but he's not that far off, I think it's fair to say. Mochila kind of in the same boat, too. So, if we're looking at a comeback, it's really going to be a matter of whether or not Mochila and TTinyy can stay alive. Streaks would be great. Not just to tie things up, but to even take the lead, as it looks like the smoke gets tossed up to try to limit the vision of the sniper shots. And overall, when he tosses out that smoke inside the middle, it masks the defensive team just because it's a matter of, hey, with this smoke, we can literally rotate to either bomb site. That mid-street is just so important for the defensive team to hold, but so difficult at the same time, because a lethal or a tactical that gets tossed, a smoke, a nade, whatever it really may be, easily can grant you a free bomb plant inside of either cabin or ruins. And that round just goes to show why that is the case. And when you got already a very solid team like the guys on Vex, it can be very difficult just to find any rounds at all. And Vicious also pulling out the sniper. He says, Rampy, you're pretty good with it, but, you know, I'm going to try to get my turn in the spotlight. 5 rounds of 2. Vex making this look easy. Out of the 8 rounds of play, they've found, or out of the 7 rounds of play, technically loading into round number 8, they have found 7, or excuse me, 6. That's actually 6. I can't count. 6 rounds. They've found the first blood out of the 7, and they're about to make it 7 out of the 8. Dominance coming in, an immediate 2v4. Drama at least is able to find 1 for his troubles, but can he do much more than that? No pressure. Oh, literally just gets so demoralized. His entire body or player model just flies to the skies, and Mochila has 5 million players shooting at him at the end of that round. Vex Gaming will take this series with Brack literally using the brightest weapon that I've ever seen in my entire life. But a dominant win for Vex. They win this win at 6 rounds to 2, and overall in this series 2-0. I'm not gonna lie, I thought this series had an opportunity for us to see a map 3 CTF, but it's just not meant to be. I don't know. It's just not meant to be. For tonight, whether or not the finals will present us with that remains to be seen. But it is something to be seen is that Rampy, though, finishes off 13-2. Those are pub numbers right there. Literally pub numbers. Unbelievable stuff coming in from Rampy. Like I said, earned streaks after the end of round 2. He had a fighter pilot and a glide bomb after just 2 rounds of play. And, of course, you see there from the guys on Foul, a.k.a. Free Agent Life, we're only able to escape with a round 3 and round 6 victory. But this entirety of this match came down to just all-around slaying. And I think from Vex, like, we saw some good moments in Search and Destroy. And what I really liked from them was their ability to, once they earned the streaks, which was like a great bonus off the start, like, you really don't play for streaks in round 1, round 2. It's obviously nice to have that opportunity, which they were granted with that. So it was automatically like an extra, you know, plus, that little extra bonus that you have toward the beginning of the map 2 Search and Destroy. that are also doing great on offense and defense alike. Like I said, I was talking about the ability to kind of toss out that smoke. It's almost like Arden Forest would be amazing if there was just like a little corner for the defensive team to hide in when it comes through mid-map, just because once that smoke gets tossed out through mid, right? Because when you toss out that smoke through mid, debating on where you throw it, whether it's near the crater inside of mid-map or through the back tank just right in front of that bridge area, you really block out the enemy from knowing exactly where you're going, because the only way that the defensive team can rotate toward either bomb site. So let's say, like, for example, you toss out a smoke, you're trying to go toward A. Well, a lot of times there's usually one player sitting in toward A. Occasionally you'll have someone sitting back bridge. But if that person is already, greeted with a smoke along with the stun, he has no idea that a push is being made. Once the initial kill comes in, either a trade or a 4v1 advantage, either way, is happening inside a cabin. By the time that is known, the kill has already gone through, the bomb is being planted, the guy by bridge is stunned, and the other two players who were sitting on the other bomb site have to literally rotate all the way back toward back ruins. They have to go all the way through back bridge, either make a flank inside of that little kind of cubby area coming in toward that cabin head glitch, or they have to make their way through kind of like that bridge into cabin cut, which is like, it's not the easiest of situations, but I feel like for the defensive team in Arden Forest, if you have any utility, anything that's blinding you through that mid-map, it's really going to come down to communication in those fast rotations once an objective is already taken. And I feel like for the guys in free agent life, they were just having a lot of different problems with trying to stop the offense. We saw the snipe really being a pretty big factor. Granted, from time to time, we saw, Reedr having some decent moments. TTinyy had a pretty nice, few snipes from time to time. But generally, it was a matter of the guys on VexX just really kind of flexing their muscles and saying, hey, we have team strats. We know exactly what we're doing in a number of different situations. And it definitely really showed, I think it's fair to say. And not just the hard point, but also in the search and destroy. Free agent life at times looked good, but it was not even in comparison to the way that VexX was, kind of duplicating and kind of molding this series the way that they want it to be. So, with that in mind, VexX have found themselves in the finals for tonight's tournament. Question being, who will meet up against them? I believe if we can actually take a look at the bracket really quick. Oh, beautiful. It's right there. We've actually got TeamX going up against Midnight GG. This is a pretty interesting series, reason being because we've got Midnight, who we've already been casting over in 2 of their prior series tonight, facing off against Bound, facing off against Mochila. Made both of those series look very, very easy as well, winning both of those in a 2-0. Now face off against the squad known as TeamX, which actually consists of Demise, Neon, Reviction, and Envoy. So a pretty interesting matchup, probably, and without question in my mind, their most difficult matchup of the night. Well, of course, I say that with the factor of being, if they get through that, probably now facing off against VexX, who would probably be, in turn, then their biggest matchup of the night. You get what I mean. Either way, though, it should be a pretty interesting one, whether or not who meets up with VexX. I'm going with Midnight. I think they're looking a little bit too strong for me in my eyes as far as like their overall chemistry that they have. That TeamX team is kind of the definition of what their team name means. It's TeamX. It's like, hey, we're going to try to pick up who's down to play in tonight's tournament, etc., etc.